Tanjiro were reborn with all of his memories. Could he defeat Muzan and his demons early this time? And most importantly, could he save the friends he lost? Well, as Tanjiro opens his eyes again, he would see that his entire family is still alive, even his father. Confused, Tanjiro wouldn't immediately understand what had happened to him. At first, he would think it was some kind of trick, or maybe even a blood demon art of some demon. However, as time passes, Tanjiro would realize that all of this is actually real. As soon as he realizes this, Tanjiro would burst into tears, happy that he can spend time with his family again. He would vow to change everything bad that had happened to him in the original timeline and would try to make life easier for everyone. Unfortunately, he would quickly realize that some things couldn't be changed. For example, his father was already ill with an incurable sickness, and no matter what Tanjiro did, he would not be able to save him. Realizing this, Tanjiro would make sure to spend extra time with his father, learning more about the Hinokami Kagura so that he could further refine his own form of sun breathing as he grows up. One important thing to remember here is that even though Tanjiro was reborn with all of his memories, some abilities like breathing styles and total concentration would still take some time to learn. This is why he would take every opportunity possible to train, practicing even as a child until he is able to master most of the Slayer abilities. He would only be around 10 when he achieved this, becoming one of the youngest to ever master these techniques. Knowing exactly when his father is about to pass, Tanjiro would make sure to properly say goodbye to him and thank him for everything he has taught him. For sometime after this, life would go normally for Tanjiro, up until that fateful day when everything changes. Knowing the exact date Muzan would attack his house, Tanjiro would make a plan. Instead of leaving his family at home while he goes off to sell charcoal, Tanjiro would come up with an excuse for everyone to go into town with him, attempting to hide them away from the attack. He would also consider defeating Muzan right then and there, but would realize that he's just not strong enough to do it. So everything would turn out great, right? Tanjiro evades Muzan and manages to save his family? Well, not quite. You see, although Tanjiro's plan would work at first, Muzan wouldn't give up that easily. Following their trail, Muzan would soon find them hiding in the village. That same night, he would attack the village, leading to many more casualties than before. Tanjiro would attempt to fight him, but would be easily dealt with and tossed aside. Muzan would then inject his blood into the rest of the family members, the same as he had before. Thinking that Tanjiro was dead, Muzan would then leave the village. Tanjiro would awaken the next morning to find Nezuko still breathing, and fearing what she might do to the surrounding villagers, he would quickly set off with her towards Urokadaki's home. While on the way there, Tanjiro would blame himself for his family's death, saying how despite knowing exactly what would happen, he wasn't strong enough to help them. Soon after, Tanjiro would encounter Giyu again. Same as in the original, Giyu would attempt to kill Nezuko, but Tanjiro would easily deflect his attacks this time around. He would then tell Giyu that he would take full responsibility for Nezuko and that he won't let her hurt anyone. Giyu, though skeptical as ever, would decide to trust Tanjiro as he had in the original timeline, allowing them to go on their way. The pair would soon arrive at Urokadaki's place. Tanjiro would beg the former Hashira to help Nezuko with his hypnosis, and after some convincing, Urokadaki would accept. Now, although Tanjiro wouldn't necessarily need to train water breathing again, he would still take lessons from the former Hashira, hiding his strength for a time so that he could meet Sabito and Makomo again. In order to become an official Demon Slayer, Tanjiro would need to pass the final selection, but this time, he would apply a lot earlier as he didn't spend years training with Urokadaki. As soon as the final selection starts, Tanjiro would immediately track down the hand demon, slaying it with ease and saving countless lives in the process. Obviously, Tanjiro would pass with flying colors, joining the ranks of the Demon Slayers much earlier than before. He would also ensure that Sabito and Makomo are able to rest now that the hand demon is dead, allowing their souls to pass on. Now, even though Tanjiro would join the Slayer Corps earlier, he would still wait the entire 2 years for Nezuko to wake from her coma before he sets off and continues his journey. During those 2 years, he would go on a bunch of Demon Slayer missions, saving many people and becoming a well-known member of the Corps, with even Hashira knowing who he is. He would also hunt down the swamp demon early, ensuring the safety of many girls in the village by killing it before it can get to them. Once Nezuko finally awakens, the two would continue with their adventures. Knowing exactly what would happen next, Tanjiro would make sure to arrive at a few places at exactly the right time. First, they would travel to Asakusa, though Tanjiro would purposefully avoid the area where Muzan would be so as not to put any civilians in danger. Instead, he would track down Tamayo, ensuring that she can start the process of making the anti-Muzan drug they would need for the final battle. During that time, they would again be attacked by the 2 low-ranked demons, but with Tanjiro's strength in this timeline, he would defeat them with ease, not even taking any injuries. After finishing the business with Tamayo, they would set out once more, this time making their way to the throne house. There, Tanjiro would finally meet Zenitsu and Inosuke, making sure their friendship stays the same in this timeline. The trio would then take on the drum demon, defeating him with ease and rescuing the children trapped in the house. Soon after, the assignment from Mount Natagumo would come in, and Tanjiro would know exactly what he has to do. He would arrive on the mountain a bit earlier than before, running through all of Rui's family with ease before taking on the child demon himself. In order to let Nezuko develop the blood demon art again, he would only use water breathing during this fight. However, once she finally uses her blood demon art, Tanjiro would let his abilities run free and would obliterate Rui using sun breathing. Thanks to Tanjiro's great strength this time around,
with